Have you ever dreamed of what it would be like to live aboard a boat? Have you ever dreamed of casting off your lines to cruise full time? Join us as we explore cruisers who have taken the steps to live that dream. This is the Live Aboard series.
Travis, this is Sophie, and you're on board Seabird, our 32-foot Downeaster.
Docked in Portland, Maine at DeMillo's Marina. So we'll start by telling you a little bit about why we chose to live on a boat. This is going to be our third full year on board. And we started out, I sailed as a kid with my dad.
So did I.
He sailed as a kid. And at some point during winter break when I was in college, I was like, you know, we should look at a sailboat. We'll see if we can buy a sailboat. We didn't really have any money. We thought we'd look anyway. And we go and we look at a boat, and the guy says, you know, oh, I'm selling this boat for $3,000. Bought it a week later.
Yeah, and we bought it, what was it, February 1st?
In February.
January 1st or something, and then we couldn't go look at it, you know.
Couldn't sail it until May.
Making all these plans what we were going to do, but we never even really seen it. We didn't know what we were getting. It was just kind of like, we did it. And what was it, May 8th when we put it in the water?
We launched her. We spent a weekend cleaning the bottom, getting it ready.
Basically power washed the inside and outside. It had been sitting for a long time. It was neglected. And someone sort of took it, or, you know, trailed it away for free, and sort of did some stuff to it, and then we bought it. So we had to really clean it out, you know, 30 years of leaves in the cockpit. So we did that and painted the bottom and stuck it in the water. It looked like a trash scow because we had this tarp over it with no mast and all this junk just kind of thrown on. There's my stuff.
That bad.
Oh no, it was like cushions everywhere, just life jackets.
And we weren't living on it at the time. We had an apartment in Augusta and the boat was in Freeport, and we sailed it every weekend, drove down an hour, sailed the boat, brought the cat with us. He came sailing as a kitten.
Our dinghy was a tandem kayak.
Yeah, a tandem
Wilderness
kayak.
Systems tandem kayak. You can stand on top of it. But I lived on it all winter. We shrink wrapped it. The community at the marina I was at was very helpful.
Yeah, so that was like the first taste of the fact that living on a boat is possible. Other people do it. He wasn't the only one.
There was like 10 people.
The community was really, really great. Everybody helps each other out. Like, everybody gets together and shrink wraps in the same weekend, and then they all go and shrink wrap the next boat the next weekend. They'll help each other buy the shrink wrap in bulk, one purchase.
Especially if you don't know how to shrink wrap your boat, you're very helpful.
And you know, when he had to be away for work, the neighbors would come feed the cat, and it was just everybody's really great. And everybody's got different boats: power boats, sailboats, little tiny boats, big, really fancy boats.
I was the smallest.
He was the smallest boat, and they were still. Everyone was really nice to him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we remember our first boat was like that," you know.
Right.
And now a bunch of the people that were living there that first winter, they've all sailed off. They're cruising. They're in the Bahamas or in Guadalupe.
Like a year and a half. They've all been gone for a year and a half.
So that's cool.
It was really cramped for space when there was 2 people. It was fine. There was enough space when it was me and the cat. But for 2 people and a cat, it was not good.
I was living out of my car. I had all my clothes and my books and my school stuff in my car, and I was trying to sell things, but it was like too crazy. So we knew, I mean, we had known that we needed a bigger boat for all of us, the both of us. And I had been told that if I found a boat that was 35 feet long, I could get a dog.
Puppy.
So I was like, I want a dog. Looking for boats, right? And we did this big road trip. We took his old man's van, and we were going to drive to Florida. We drove as far as North Carolina. And we were like, this sucks. I found a boat in Rhode Island. Like, okay, Rhode Island, that's not too far. You're going to be in Rhode Island tomorrow. You should go call this guy. So after work, he gets out early. Him and his coworker go down to this boatyard. They're looking around at the boat, and Travis calls me. He's texting me all these pictures. Like, this boat is amazing. It was a Downeaster 32, a 76 or 77 or something.
Same as this boat.
And the guy was asking $13,000. I'm like, dang, that's a really good deal. And he says, you know, oh, it's been on the hard for 3 years. And the marina said, it's been on the hard for 6 years. And he said everything runs, everything works great, everything's fine. Well, turns out the engine was seized. And as he checked it, he was like, oh, I guess the engine is seized.
These boats came with a saltwater cooled
ferryman diesel that was cooled with raw water, and it
spent.
Just corroded completely.
He wanted to get this thing off his hands because he was like trying to get us all these deals. Like we had split the cost of a new engine with him, so the price would have been down to like $8,000 or something.
Yeah, he said finally, okay, I'll take $8,500 for it. But the thing was, it was in Rhode Island, and how did we get it home? You know, so we were just like, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We want to buy the boat, so we hired a surveyor. Best thing we ever did.
Yeah.
Surveyor goes in. He charged us $400. He started the survey and he called me and he said, this boat is trash. Are you sure you want me to finish the survey? And I said, we really love it. Yes, please finish the survey.
That was bad.
He goes through the whole thing and he said, you know, everything needs to be redone. The systems are all falling apart. And the way the survey works is at the end they list comparable boats that are for sale that are similar, and that's how they help assess the value. And he said, did you know there's one of these boats, a Downeaster 32, for sale in South Portland, Maine?
We're in living in Portland. We're in South Portland.
Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, we've looked, there's no way there's a boat for sale that we missed. Like, I've looked at every boat on the market.
Yeah, apparently he didn't post it on Craigslist.
But he didn't post it on Craigslist, so I didn't find the boat. So anyway, we went and we looked at that one. This one.
This is it.
And he wanted more money for it, but he had already replaced the engine. So this boat has...
it had been sailing, you know, it was on a mooring, sailable.
That
we went and looked at it. I was like, does the motor work? And he started it. Do the sails work? And he rolled them out and we went sailing. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is basically turnkey, but nothing really is. There's all kinds of stuff that you
We had to customize it for ourselves, but...
Yeah, but...
It was ready to go.
We're happy, he's happy. He actually even owner financed a big chunk of it for us.
Which is the only way we could do it.
We weren't getting $20,000.
So...
when we finally decided to make the leap to live aboard, it was really the idea or whatever was kindled by this author we had been reading. Somebody gave us a book.
I think it was my parents.
Your dad? Was it like a Christmas present?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, this author's name, he goes by Captain Fatty. His name is Gary Goodlander.
Fatty.
And yeah, his name's Gary.
Yeah. So Fatty's story is he's lived on the boat all of his life, except for 6 months when he was like 15 years old, and it was the hardest 6 months of his life, he said. He hated it. And at the end of that 6 months, he moved on to a sinking, leaking, 20-foot wooden boat with his girlfriend, and that was it. He's never moved off a boat again.
It was actually a dumpster.
Yeah.
People have just been throwing stuff in it.
But the way he wrote about the lifestyle, it just sounded really interesting. And he had done it in, you know, shitty boats and in nicer boats, and either way it seemed like...
Shoddy boats.
Shoddy. He had done it in shoddy boats and in nicer boats, and either way it seemed like it was fun.
Yep. So he gave us kind of the courage to even think about it.
Right.
Brought it to our attention, first of all. And then the lease was up, and either pay more money for another apartment or do this, do that, and, you know, people I would tell that I was going to do it, you know, I'd go up to my friends and say, hey, I'm going to move on my boat, and just laughed, you know. You can't, the questions that you're always going to get are, how do you heat it? And what's the other one?
Everyone just is like, you live on a boat, it must be so cold.
Yeah.
No, we have a heater just like you do in your house. Like, your house must be so cold when it's winter time.
Right.
And easy for us because we're young and we don't already have a house and furniture and like a life on land.
Yeah.
I was between, I mean, I had an apartment that I was leaving that was in Virginia, and he had an apartment the lease was up on, but it wasn't like we had any reason not to pick a boat as our next apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we have perfect, ideal downtown Portland, Old Port location.
Yeah, for half price.
For half price. And we can take our house with us when we feel like moving to Culebra.
The best part about living aboard is taking all your stuff wherever you go. Yeah. You're out sailing on your boat and you think, like, I forgot my jacket at home. Well, this is home.
Downstairs, go grab it. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. Nice to be able to go sailing right after work.
I think everybody should do it.
But not everybody, and not here because we don't want our rates to go up.
Oh, right. No one should do it. No, don't do it.
But I mean, the other thing is, like, so now we got married in October, right? And we're taking our honeymoon this summer. And we were like, well, for our honeymoon, you know, we could spend an exorbitant amount of money, fly somewhere and hang out for a week. Or we could pack up our house and sail to Prince Edward Island in Canada, where we wanted to go anyway.
Just basically have to tie everything down.
So we're taking our summer off, quitting my job. We're gonna go sailing, and if we really like it, we might stay sailing. We might sail back here and then keep going south. We love Puerto Rico. We'd like to move there. Culebra, in Puerto Rico.
We've been there a couple times. Really like it. So we thought if we can earn enough money to pay our loans,
we might just keep sailing.
And why not? All right. So this is our honeymoon. We got married in October, and we're gonna take our honeymoon and sail this boat to Prince Edward Island and back.
700 miles one way-ish. Well, 750 one way.
Yeah.
So we'll leave here June 1st is the plan, and we'll be back here in August.
September 1st, yeah.
September 1st, yeah, last week of August or something.
We really don't know.
Right, we don't know. But so our plan after that is to keep cruising. And part of the thing, when we bought the boat, we were like, well, we really love cruising, and we don't see any reason not to just kind of keep doing it. And we don't know if we're going to circumnavigate or if we're going to live in the Caribbean for 10 years. But it feels like it would be a really great way a great lifestyle to raise kids in.
I can't see not living on it.
Right, I can't see not living on it.
It'd be really sad to not live on this boat.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it really has enough room for, like...
But they make a bigger Downeaster, so maybe we'll get the bigger Downeaster.
Yeah, we don't really know.
We don't know.
But I really think that my mom, and I think your mom, don't really want us to have kids on a boat.
I don't think my mom wants me to have kids.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
with me. Somebody else would be fine.
Maybe. We don't know.
But anyway, a bigger boat, we think we can have kids on it, and whatever challenges there are with that, we would, just be willing to face them and understand that there might be some. And we're not forced to live on a boat. We choose to.
We choose to.
So if we choose to live in a house, we choose to live in a house. But as it is 3 years into it, I can't imagine living in a house. And
I don't know. It's the low maintenance lifestyle is so nice for us. We can just not spend too much time maintaining. Well, I don't know. We do a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
But it's different.
It's different. Yeah. So the long-term plan
is to stay on the boat.
Is to stay on the boat. Short-term plan is to make it alive to and from Peaks, Prince Edward Island this summer. And then from there,
just
maybe
keep sailing.
If we can do it, if we don't hate it, because Prince Edward Island would be our first really long trip. We haven't really been out of Casco Bay on this boat because we have jobs and stuff.
Not done any overnight sails, not done any long distance sails.
We've anchored places overnight, but we haven't actually sailed the boat for 24 hours.
So we'll see how we like it, but whatever.
Living on the boat has been really great.
Perfect for us anyway, for our lifestyle.
Yep.